Hi everybody, I'm going to give you a quick tour and demonstration of the Luxe Lens Wedding Action Set for Photoshop. If you've ever shot a wedding, or you've done post-production for wedding photography, you know that not only are you dealing with an extremely large volume of photographs, but you're also dealing with images that will be an extremely important part of somebody's life. Now that's a lot of responsibility, and it's also a lot of pressure for whoever is producing those images. The Luxe Lens Wedding Set is designed to achieve a high level of quality, control, and style variation for any image, and to achieve it quickly and easily. So let's start off here by taking a look inside the action set. Here you're going to find quick items, general workflow, wedding color base, wedding brushes, wedding black and white base, image to painting, grain, and final sharpening. Now, I've selected this image for our demonstration because first, it focuses on the bride, and second, because it's an image that I think would work well in either color or black and white, both of which are essentials in wedding photography. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start here by processing it as a color image, but I'm going to be doing it bearing in mind that I plan on taking this and converting it to black and white toward the end. So the first thing I want to do here is select and apply the Histogram Fix Action. Now already you can see a pretty dramatic change in the image with just that single alteration. You can also see the action working here in your histogram, which gives you a nice visual representation of the changes being made. Now with wedding photos, you typically want them to look warm and soft, especially if it's a more intimate portrait like the one we have here. So I'm going to apply the contrast decrease action to help soften up this image just a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down a bit and select the sunlight leaks action. This action is going to help warm up the image a bit, and it's also going to make the image immediately more interesting to the viewer with just that little bit of added drama. Now I also see an action here called Beaming Bride. Now that sounds like exactly what I want out of this photograph. So I'm going to go ahead and play that action as well, and then I'm going to bring the opacity down to maybe about 30 just to make sure that the effect is subtle. I'm then going to stack All Eyes on Her on top of that. And you'll see that these two actions are kind of working together to target these skin tones and provide a bit of a glow to her complexion, which is an extremely flattering effect. Now I like what's happening here, so I'm going to stack a couple more actions on top before we move on to the brushes. Now I like the idea of a pastel palette for this image, so I'm going to go ahead and select Pastel Romance, and then I'll adjust that opacity to my liking, probably, let's say 60 or so. Next I'll go ahead and add Clean and Light. Okay, so I like the general look here. But now I'd like to target some alterations in the flower bouquet. Now wedding flowers are a great accessory for any photographer because they're a naturally beautiful prop that can add just a little bit of something to an image. So I really want to capitalize on the fact that she's holding this bouquet in this image, and I'm going to go ahead and select the Pop Flowers action. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint over some of these areas in the flowers just to get a bit more of a pronounced appearance. So now here is our before, and here is our after. Now I think this next action is one of the most convenient, practical, and effective when it comes to wedding photography, and that's the whiten dress action. Now watch what happens when I apply this. I'll start painting over the dress with a soft round brush, and suddenly you'll start to notice that the dress originally wasn't appearing particularly white at all. But now we have control over that appearance. So I'm just going to take a quick minute here to paint over the dress, and then I'll decide exactly how much of the final effect I want to apply. And I'll do that simply by adjusting the layer opacity and finding a nice balance between the appearance of the dress in the original photograph and the whitened version I'm applying now. And I think I like it right about here. So I think that's where I'll leave it for the moment, knowing full well that I can come back to any of these effects at any time and either further add or decrease it. So as I said at the beginning, I've been processing this photograph kind of bearing in mind that I'd like to convert it to black and white. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And I think with this image, I don't want a typical monochrome conversion, but something with just a bit more style. So I'm going to select Black and White Antique and apply it. And there you go, a very dramatic black and white conversion with just a click. Now it's important to remember that with Photoshop Actions, it's never all or nothing. Even if you're working with black and white, there are still lots and lots of different ways to create different artistic black and white compositions. An obvious way to do this is to turn the layer opacity up or down to your liking and make an interesting black and white that still suggests just a little bit of color. You should also remember that since all of these actions are layers, you can also create a layer mask and select a particular element of the image that you'd like to convert to black and white, while the rest of it can retain color. In this image, for example, you may want to keep the bouquet colorized in an otherwise black and white image to achieve a more artistic and surreal quality. With these action sets, you have complete, non-destructive control over your photograph, and you should always feel confident in being as creative as you want in how you choose to apply these actions. So there's just a quick tour and demonstration of the Luxe Lens Wedding Action Set for Photoshop. And for all my fellow wedding photographers out there, I highly recommend this action set for both increasing the quality and efficiency of your workflow, but also just to give you a little bit of confidence and relief from the immense amount of pressure that comes with that kind of responsibility. So I really hope you all enjoyed, and I hope that you check out this action set for yourself. Bye now.